Man, September 14th is going to be one very interesting night. It was announced that we're going to get two banging fight cards come September 14th. The Canelo Alvarez versus Edgar Berlanga fight, Mexico versus Puerto Rico, and then the highly anticipated Noche UFC, and that'll be headlined by Sugar Sean O'Malley and Merab Dvalishvili. So what's very interesting about this is because I need to ask y'all, which one are y'all favoring to watch? Of course, you already know come September 14th, y'all have been with me for a minute, I'll be commentating both of these fights. I'll be live for both of them, so feel free to tune in September 14th. I will be doing the live commentary for both of these cards. But I still gotta ask y'all, and I gotta know how many of y'all are more excited for the Canelo fight and how many of you are more excited for the Noche UFC card. The Canelo Berlanga fight was practically just announced, so I don't think they have that undercard set just yet, so there's not really much to look at, but it's still a pretty damn good fight. In my personal opinion, I don't think Edgar Berlanga is ready, but being a New York-Rican, you know what I mean, I kind of gotta side with my guy Edgar Berlanga. I gotta hope he pulls out probably one of the biggest upset in recent boxing history, because he is going to be a massive freaking underdog for this fight, and he's probably only going to be given a puncher's chance to win. And of course, you already know Canelo Alvarez really needs no introduction. His last fight against Jaime Munguia was very exciting. He has shown that even if you go and put him up against a volume puncher like Jaime Munguia, he will still come out on top. In my personal opinion, I thought that would be Canelo's kryptonite, you know, someone with more volume to push him, push that cardio. And Munguia definitely tried that, but was so unsuccessful. And to be honest, I don't even think we've ever seen Canelo get rattled like that or hurt. He's definitely taken some really big shots, especially from Triple G, but Canelo has always seemed pretty damn unfazed. So it'll be interesting to see if the power puncher, the knockout artist in Edgar Berlanga, can rattle Canelo Alvarez and be the first to do so. But of course, you know what I mean? It is what it is. I gotta side with my guy Berlanga for this one. Fingers crossed he pulls out a knockout or maybe even drops Canelo or something, because that would be the biggest upset in recent boxing history without a doubt if Berlanga can pull this off. And we'll get to the Noche UFC card in a second, but it's very interesting how both of these cards are going down in Las Vegas on the same date at the same time. And if y'all remember, the last time a big time UFC pay-per-view card headlined on the same night as a Canelo Alvarez fight, they actually kind of postponed the Alvarez fight a little bit later. They were in the locker rooms ready to walk out, but they put them on pause and they were playing the Diaz versus Masvidal original BMF title bout. They were playing that fight on the big screen while Canelo was in the locker room ready to fight Kovalev. It was very interesting, but it was kind of expected because at the time the Masvidal versus Diaz BMF title fight was massive. But now the question is Noche UFC that big to where possibly the same thing might happen again? To be honest, I kind of hope it does, just because it'll make me commentating it much easier. I'm not constantly looking over at two screens trying to commentate both at the same time, but if I gotta do it, I gotta do it. It is what it is. But let's take a quick look at this Noche UFC card and see if it is good enough to possibly do the same thing that they did when Canelo Alvarez took on Kovalev. So as you can see, I got the card pulled up right here. So far, there's only, I think I counted 10 fights. So there's still a ton more fights that they're going to add to this card. I'm wondering if it's more going to be undercard fights or possibly massive fights that they could put on the pay-per-view. You know, we got some good names out there, but I'm sure really the main ones that you guys all know of and are excited for are going to be Raul Rosas Jr. coming back. He had a very impressive performance in his last bout. They decided to reschedule the bout between Brian Ortega and Diego Lopez. As we all know, Brian Ortega had to pull out very last minute, and Diego Lopez goes on to dominate Dan Ige, but props to Ige for even being willing to take that fight, man, on such freaking short notice. Both of these guys are absolute warriors. A matchup between him and Brian Ortega will be very interesting. Of course, I'm leaning towards Diego Lopez. The guy is a freaking monster. We got the third fight between Alexa Grasso and Valentina Shevchenko. By the way, dope custom UFC belt. I love to see it. But this is their third fight, and if Valentina Shevchenko walks away with a win here, we might get a fourth one. And then, of course, in the main event, Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili. And Merab is definitely Sean O'Malley's toughest test to date. Stylistically, Merab is a nightmare for Sean O'Malley, but the same can be said the other way around. Sean O'Malley stylistically should be a nightmare for Merab. Every fight starts on the feet. So in my opinion, that gives Sean O'Malley the advantage. But Merab is relentless when it comes to getting those takedowns, and he is a freaking cardio machine. O'Malley doesn't really have the best takedown defense out there, but I'm sure this entire camp, he's probably working on takedown defense. I'm sure they're bringing in top wrestlers to help him out and prepare him, because you know, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. But overall, so far, a pretty decent card. I'd like to see them maybe add one more big fight and put it on that pay-per-view. And in my opinion, that'll really bring it all together and get people really excited for this card. But of course, just like I said before, I got to get y'all opinion. What are y'all more excited about? The Canelo Berlanga fight or the Noche UFC card? Of course, feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, I thank you all so much for the support, and I'll catch you in the next video.